Hello everybody, welcome to a new chapter on the channel, and one that I've been waiting to make for, well, ever since I started the channel, but even before, for like 2 years beforehand, because today we're finally getting into thermoelectric cooling. Because in case you didn't know, I'm pretty obsessed with thermoelectric cooling in general. The concept is really interesting to me, and I've spent the past couple of years making some really cool and fascinating designs that I can't wait to share with you guys. But today I want to start small and introduce everyone to a format of Peltier that I haven't seen on YouTube so far, which are these mini formats. So basically what these are just literally shrunken down versions of the standard size 40 by 40 millimeter thermoelectric Peltiers. So here I have a 25 by 25 millimeter one, a 20 by 20 millimeter one, and then a 15 by 15 millimeter one. And it even goes down to 10 by 10 millimeters. So here is my plan for these today. So what I'm going to be doing is, given the fact that I have two power supplies now, I'm going to be stacking these on top of each other and seeing just how cold we can get them and how fast. In addition to that, I'm going to be using my brand new Thermoelectric data logger, which takes the input from two of these DS18B20 digital temperature sensors and logs them onto a micro SD card at around 7 times a second, and logs the real time as well, so we can make a graph in Excel. Something which I think should be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and begin. Starting off with parts, I'm going to be using the following two thermoelectric Peltiers to stack on top of each other. So I've got a 25 by 25 millimeter Tech 1-04910. It's a 5.78 volt thermoelectric Peltier capable of taking up to 10 amps of current and providing up to 34 watts of cooling power. Then on top of that, I'm going to be placing the Tech 1-03104. It's a 15 by 15 millimeter thermoelectric Peltier, rated for 3.75 volts and up to 4 amps of current. And if I remember correctly, it should provide up to around 9 watts of cooling power theoretically. Okay, now for the heatsink and fan. So what I have here is not by any means a permanent assembly. It is just a fan taped to a heatsink. It's a 70 by 70 millimeter fan taped to a heatsink that I forget the dimensions of, so I'll put that on screen here. And as you can see, it's a pretty beefy heatsink that should be able to handle the Peltiers we're going to be putting on it today. Okay, so with our surfaces now clean, let's start installing our Peltiers. So putting some thermal paste on the bottom here, not too much. And then just to make sure it doesn't slip out of place, I'm just going to spread it out on the bottom here just to get it more thin. Then following that up with the Tech 1-03104. Okay, and just like that, everything is now wired up, including the fan. So right before we go ahead and power this thing on, let's go ahead and put in our thermal probes so we can monitor the temperature on the screen there and also make a graph afterwards with the data we're going to collect. So the hot side probe just goes into one of the fins here. And then for the cold side probe, I've gone ahead and put some felt around the wire here just to maybe help with some accuracy on the readings. Okay, finally, with everything now in place, wired up, and ready to go, let's go ahead and power this thing on. So turning on the fan first, and you'll notice that it's not as loud of a fan as my other ones, as my server fans. Turning on the bottom Peltier in 3, 2, 1, followed by the second Peltier. And now it should start going down pretty quick, so let's keep an eye on that screen here. Now my current prototype that uses a chip that is half as powerful as the one we have underneath here takes about 2 minutes to go below freezing temperature. And oh my god, we're about to go below freezing and we've only been running for literally 28 seconds. That is pretty insane. -5, -6. Now do keep in mind that there is no copper on top of here, so we're going to add that on afterwards, but we're already down to -10, -12. This is insane. So I've only tried this out once. I haven't perfected the voltages here yet, so I'm only giving 4.95 volts to the big one here, and then around 2.95 volts to the smaller one here. Even though it's rated for 3.75 volts, I just decided to go a little bit lower here, and it seems to be working pretty well. Look at that, -21 degrees. That's pretty cool. And let's see what we're at. Almost -26 degrees. I don't think I have ever gotten this low of a temperature with my Peltiers before. So it's now exactly been 5 minutes since we powered the device on, and we're down to negative 27 degrees. That is almost down to negative 30. That is actually insane. So I think we should go ahead, turn this thing off, and put a piece of copper on there and see how long it takes to freeze a whole bunch of water. Turning off the small Peltier, followed by the big one, followed by the fan. So now we should see it all start to melt. And it should look pretty cool. I can't really focus too well on there. You can see it's all starting to melt at the same time. Looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's kind of blurry here, but that looks pretty cool. Okay, nice. Now let's try this out with a piece of copper. Okay, so here I've got a 60 by 3mm copper round, which I have polished and cleaned. So I'm gonna go ahead, put some thermal paste on here and attach it to the top of the smaller Peltier here. Or actually, let me go ahead and put the paste on the Peltier itself. Okay, it's not perfect, but it should work. So doing my best to put this on centered. Putting on the thermal probe for the cold side again. And just like that, we should be ready to fire this thing up again and see if we can make some frozen water on the top of this little disc here. Okay, ready? Turning on the fans. Followed by Peltier number 1 and Peltier number 2. So when the probe was directly on the Peltier itself, we went below 0 degrees and to -5 in under a minute. So let's see how it performs now with a quite big piece of copper on here. So we seem to be going down in temperature, but it is going a bit slower, but I assume that once it starts getting cold here, it's going to start speeding up. So it's going to be 2 minutes of runtime in 15 seconds. So while this thing is cooling down, I'm going to go ahead, get some water, and prepare to pour it on top of this disc. Okay, so I'm back with a test tube full of water, and we're about to go below freezing. So I've got some water here, and as soon as we get to the 0 degree mark, I'm going to start adding a tiny bit on here. And there we go, 0 degrees. So let's see if I can find a little bottle cap or something to avoid spilling it everywhere. Okay, so I've got this little bottle cap full of water here, and I'm going to slowly add it on top of this disc. Now, if the performance we've been seeing so far is any indication, it should freeze quite quickly. So let's see just how quick that is. Okay, so it couldn't have been more than 5.5 to 6 minutes that I left to refill this test tube here and tidy up some of the wires. And in the meantime, we dropped down to -5.25 degrees Celsius. All of our water froze solid, and it's now developing frost on top of the ice. And now the copper round is also developing frost all around the perimeter and on top and on the bottom. Okay, let's add some more water and take a look at just how much more frosty it got just after 2.5 minutes of me going to fill this cap here. So ready? Adding more water in 3, 2, 1. Let's add some more, and some more, and some more. Maybe some more here, and some more here. That should be good. And now we wait. Okay, this thing is way more powerful than I expected it to be. It has not even been 5 minutes, and the entirety of the water here is now solid. That's insane. So let's add some more. Let's add it right where this little gap is. Boop. There we go. We're making a skating rink. Nice. And fast forward 15 minutes later, and we just have a mess of frozen water here. It is just absolutely covered in frost. Look at that. This is insane. So, given how much better this worked than I expected it to, let's just go ahead, turn the device off, wait for the ice to come free, and then let's go ahead, extract the data that we collected onto our data logger there, and make a nice little graph in Excel. Okay, so we're turning off Peltier 1, followed by Peltier 2, followed by the fan. So our device is now powered off, and as the temperature starts to rise, we should be able to separate our piece of very, very, very solid ice from this piece of copper here. Okay, so I think I'm starting to see a little gap forming between the ice and the copper. Let's see if it's ready to come out, and I think it is. Yep. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Oh, I don't want to drop it. I don't want to drop it. Let's zoom out of it here. Take a look at that. I'm going to zoom in just a second. Take a look at that. So we just made this. It's not super thick, but that is definitely some frozen water. And it was much, much harder when it was still pretty cold on the cold plate there, but I had to let it melt so I could remove it from the plate. Okay, so just like I promised, let's go ahead and turn all our data into graphs in Excel. So let's go ahead and import the data that we collected onto the micro SD card. I'm going to go ahead and click Import Text File. I'm going to show you the data that I collected right here. So that is the raw data from the SD card, but that's not really what we want because that's like 1 point something megabytes. So we only want this and the other set of data for the copper and the one we did without the copper. So I'm going to go ahead and import the one with the copper for now. Starting the import on row 2, putting it as delimited, and then for our file origin, selecting MS-DOS, hitting next. Then over here, we're going to deselect that, select space, put in the straight line thing, I forgot what it's called, deselect that, put that as none, hit next. Now here we get to actually pick what we want and what we don't want. So I'm just going to skip over everything except for the time and our temperature. So I'm not even going to include the cold side and hot side text. I'm just going to go ahead and just remove those. And then for the time, you can see I am putting a colon in the advanced settings so that it can import it properly. Removing everything else and just bringing in our temperature here. So making sure it's a period for the temperature. And we're not even going to include degrees Celsius. And the only other thing we're going to bring in is the temperature for the hot side. So removing everything else. And that should be it. So we're only taking in our temperature and the time. So we hit finish, select a place to import the data, and click import. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some labels here. So I'm going to call one something like time or something. Call the other one CS for cold side, and the other one HS for hot side. Nice. So now to make our graph, we're just going to select all the data. So I'm going to start from the bottom here and just go all the way up, selecting all that text. Going all the way up. It's a lot of data. Okay, so if I remember correctly, at this point, we should now go into Insert, line graph, hit that, make it a bit bigger, and then switch to style 5, make it look a little bit nicer. And then here is where we're going to want to lower those numbers down so it's not blocking that line over there. So I'm going to go into, can't really see, format axis, hit labels, and then here we're going to bring those numbers down and also put some separation between the numbers if needed. So here I'm going to put something like 20. That looks good. So now let's go ahead and add a title. So I'm not going to give it a super fancy title. This is actually my second take because the first time my recording software crashed. So let's name this something like Dual Tech with Copper and then put how much it ran for. So I think this one ran for exactly 17 minutes. So let's name it Dual Tech with Copper, 17 mins, and then save it as that. And we're going to save it as a picture. Okay, that looks nice. So let's make it a bit bigger and then go ahead and save it as an image. So I'm going to do that by right-clicking on the border, save as picture. And this is my second take again, so I'm just going to put the number 2 after the end. So I'm going to afterwards put it into the video here so we can see the graph we generated. Hitting save, and just like that, we're done. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do the same thing with the other data set where we didn't have the copper.
And just like that, we're done. So here is the first graph for the copper. So you can see that it's gone all the way down almost to -10. Looks pretty nice. Let's take a look at the other graph. So here's the graph made from the data where we had no copper on top, just the thermal probe on the second thermoelectric Peltier, the smaller one. So we can see it's gone almost all the way down to -30. It went down to -29.5, I think. So pretty cold.
So I genuinely did not expect these mini thermoelectric Peltiers to perform so well. They reached almost -30 degrees Celsius in just 2 minutes of running, -29.75 degrees, which is insane for just two Peltiers. So I only did have two power supplies today, that's why we made a two-stage stack, but in part two, we're going 4 stages. I've gotten an even bigger, beefier heatsink to see just how cold we can get these in the hot summer heat. So thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed making this video quite a bit, and I hope you enjoy watching it as well. And I hope to see you in the next one.